There are three mistakes almost every company makes when hiring a full stack developer, and most don't realize it until they're 4 or 5 months down the road and starting the search over. I'm Pete Newsome, president of Four Corner Resources. In this video, I'll share what you can do instead. A bad developer hire isn't just an inconvenience. The Department of Labor puts a floor at 30% of first-year earnings, and the Society for Human Resource Management puts a ceiling at $240,000 for high-impact roles. You might be able to recover the money, but never the lost time. And the problem didn't occur when interviewing. It started weeks earlier when nobody sat down and asked the hard questions about what they actually needed. Mistake one is confusing job duties with the technology stack. Open any job board and search full stack developer. You'll find postings that list 15 frameworks, 4 cloud platforms, and 3 databases. These postings attract two kinds of candidates: overqualified engineers who leave in 8 months, and candidates who stretch the truth on their resume. Neither is what you're looking for. A strong full-stack developer doesn't know everything. They know the right things deeply and everything else well enough to be effective. That's a very different profile than the laundry list suggests. The fix is to lead with the problem, not the requirements. 2 or 3 sentences about what this person will actually be building and why it matters. Then separate must-haves from nice-to-haves and be specific about your stack. And be sure to include the salary range. Withholding it is a deterrent. It sends your best candidates to the next posting that did include it. 91% of job seekers say the salary range affects whether they apply. Mistake 2 is hiring for syntax instead of judgment. The interview went well, the assessment was passed, but 6 months in, your new developer can't explain a technical decision to a product manager. They freeze when something breaks in production, or have never deployed their own work and have no idea what the pipeline looks like. Technical skills get a developer in the room, but judgment determines whether they're still there in a year and whether the year was any good. Here are 4 questions I'd put in every process. First, walk me through the last thing you built end to end. You're not evaluating the project, you're evaluating ownership. Did they talk about trade-offs, user impact, what they do differently? Or did they just list the technologies and move on? Second, tell me about something that broke in production. Find out what happened. Every developer who's shipped real work has a story here. What you're listening for is calm, methodical thinking under pressure and whether they take ownership or redistribute blame. Third, what have you taught yourself in the last 6 months? A survey from Stack Overflow showed 82% of developers actively learn outside of work. Curiosity is part of this profession. It shouldn't come as a bonus. Fourth, describe a technical disagreement with a teammate. How did they resolve it? You want someone who can hold a position, argue it clearly, and genuinely change their mind when the reasoning is better. On the other hand, someone who caves immediately is just as much of a problem as someone who digs in regardless of the evidence. Mistake 3, treating onboarding as a formality. You found the right person, they accepted the offer, and then on day 1, you hand them a laptop or a ticket queue. No walkthrough, no context, good luck. The average developer isn't fully productive until 6 to 8 weeks in. Most companies do almost nothing to shorten that window, then quietly wonder why the first sprint was so slow. Week 1 should be about context, not output. A code-based walkthrough, tool access from day 1, and introductions to every stakeholder they'll actually work with. The first task should be real but low stakes, something that forces them to navigate the full code base without a launch deadline attached. Then use a 30-60-90 framework. At 30 days, shipping small tasks independently and asking good questions. At 60 days, owning a feature end-to-end and contributing to technical discussions. At 90 days, proactively identifying problems and improving things without being asked. If you're not seeing those markers, address it at day 45. A direct conversation at that point is a much better outcome than a very difficult one at day 120. And document everything before they arrive. Architecture decisions, deployment processes, the things that seem obvious because you've lived in the code base for 2 years, but to someone new, it may not be that at all. Nothing signals a well-run team faster to a new hire than a README that actually reflects reality. Here's what it comes down to. Most companies that miss on a developer hire had a process. They just skip the parts that actually matter. Problem first, tech stack second. Evaluate for judgment, not just syntax, and treat onboarding like it's part of the hire because it is. Get those 3 things wrong and you're back at square one 6 months later, carrying the cost of both. If you want help building that process, or you'd rather hand the search off entirely to the people who do this every day, well, that's what we do at Four Corner Resources. The link's in the description. And if this was useful, subscribe. We put out new content like this all the time.